Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this video is about the 2025 Hermes private sale in Jersey City, New Jersey. This is my first time attending one of their sales in New Jersey. With the exception of last year, for the past few years I've gone to the New York sales. So let's talk about some logistics. As you can see, I took the PATH train from World Trade Center, just one stop over to Exchange Place in Jersey City, and the location was a hop, skip, and a jump from the train station. I went the second to last day of the sale. I could have gone earlier, but I would have had to take off work, and as much as I love Hermes and a good sale, it's not that serious. So I just went on a day that I would be home anyway, so it was not at all inconvenient to attend the sale. Now, inside the sale, I will say that unlike the New York sales, I saw plenty of people taking pictures and videos, and no one really seemed to care. So there's no excuse for the fact that I didn't really get good footage, other than I was really focused on finding the things that I wanted, which didn't leave me much time to record. But I did get a few pics. There was a ton of ready to wear, very neatly organized by size, although I will say that the couple of pieces of ready to wear that I ended up getting were not where they were supposed to be. I'm really glad that I kept a good eye out and paid attention, because I could have very easily have missed those pieces. There were tons of shoes, although I will say if you were any larger than a 37.5, you were kind of out of luck. And maybe this is just because I was there on the second to last day, but I've been talking to a few of you on IG about sizing, and it seems like even if you were there day one or two, the larger sizes were limited. As far as scarves, I wasn't interested in any of the colorways. There was a surprising amount of home items, which if you watch my channel, you know that I love Hermes home. But again, the colorways of the blankets and the pillows were not anything that I was interested in. There was a ton of costume jewelry. They had earrings and bracelets, necklaces. These picnic earrings were super interesting, and bag charms galore. Again, nothing that I was particularly interested in, but a fairly decent selection. Okay, so let's talk about what I wanted versus what I got. I approached Hermes sales in a very strategic way with a very clear budget in mind. $4,000 was my budget, and that was because that is what I had allocated for last year's sale, but I didn't get invited. Two very nice IG friends offered to invite me as their +1, but I opted against it. I figured I've been to quite a few sales before. If Hermes wants me to spend money at their sales, they'll invite me, and so I just suggested that they share their +1 invitation to a friend or just someone who's never had the opportunity to go. So as a result, the money that I didn't spend last year went unused and was burning a hole in my pocket. As far as what I was looking for, that was also very specific. I wanted another baseball cap. If you've watched my previous sales videos, you'll know that I try to get one every time I go to a sale. I was also on the lookout for a bathing suit. I've tried unsuccessfully to get one at previous sales. I wanted a 90-centimeter silk scarf for my bestie who collects scarves, and thanks to me now collects Hermes scarves. I also wanted non-leather white sneakers. If you follow me on Instagram, you know the saga of me cleaning my Hermes leather day sneakers, and they got so dirty because they're my only pair of white sneakers, so I used and abused them. I definitely needed another pair of white sneakers, but in a non-leather, much more casual style. I considered getting the white versions of my Chanel classic sneakers, but those are way too expensive, even if I used a bunch of Saks Rewards points. So I essentially wanted a similar style to my black Chanel sneakers, but in white. And I definitely did not want to pay anywhere near $1,000 for basic white sneakers. I also wanted a pair of black loafers with silver details. And lastly, I am always up for Hermes ready-to-wear, specifically tops. So t-shirts, shirts, sweaters, loungewear. Now, conversely, I was open to finding a spectacular piece of outerwear. So a cashmere coat, a leather jacket, which which at the boutique are usually in the $7,000 to $10,000 range. So at 60% off would be around the $4,000 mark. So I would either get all of the things that I mentioned initially, but if I got an expensive piece of outerwear, that would be it. I would have to forego everything else. One rule that I try to abide by when shopping for items on sale, not just Hermes, but any brand, is that unless something is spectacular and blows me away, I try to stick to items that I already had interest in and even better tried on at the boutique. Otherwise, these sales are a great way to buy a whole bunch of stuff that I'll never wear just because it's on sale. And at Hermes prices, 60% off is still a lot of money. So if it's not something that I would buy anyway, but I missed it at the boutique for whatever reason, that season had passed, it was too expensive, I couldn't find my size, perhaps I saw it online, but it was never ordered at my boutique. You get the gist. I would rather just save that money and spend it at the actual Hermes boutique or somewhere else altogether. Here I'm showing you some of the ready-to-wear pieces that I did not get. Here's a leather jacket that I really liked, but I also tried on 2 other leather jackets, but for some reason I did not take a picture. I didn't try this on because it wasn't in my size, but I love this coat, but it was $23,000. Even at 60% off, this was way out of budget. Here's a really lovely black cashmere mid-length coat, which I had tried on in the boutique over a year ago, and I liked it, but not enough to buy. From memory, it was around $7,000. And here's the same coat in white. They had my size. I tried it on in a size 34 and 36, and I was very tempted by this, but I had to apply my own rule here. I wasn't blown away. I have a similar coat that I like slightly more, and it's still a lot of money, so I had to pass on this one, but admittedly it was a good deal since it would have been around $2,900 after the 60% discount. Okay, so let me show you what I got, and then I'll let you know what I think about this year's sale in general and if it was worth it. First up is the Twilly doll, which is the nano Twilly that's made for very small bag handles, or you can use them as bracelets around your wrist. I bought this for my mini Kelly. I've asked my SA for this and they just didn't have any in store. There was a really cute colorway that I preferred online, but I decided to wait for a colorway that I might like even better, and before I knew it, they were gone. Perhaps they were seasonal because I haven't seen them since. I initially hesitated because the price seemed like a lot for such a tiny piece of silk, but I haven't been able to find any other Twillies that will work on a mini Kelly handle, and I just really don't like the way regular Twillies look on the mini Kelly. I just find them to be entirely too big. Next up is a Twilly from a few seasons ago. I remember seeing people show this Twilly on Instagram and YouTube, and I really loved it, but I couldn't really think of a use for it. And I will say that this is the one item that I bought with kind of a silly use in mind. I'm not sure it will work out, but I just wanted it. So I'll put the name of the Twilly somewhere on the screen. I only bought one because I intend to use this not for a bag, but for my hair, and very specifically in the summertime, long braids. I plan to use this as a headband on this side, showing the girl with the long braid. I just think this will look so cute paired with my signature all black summertime looks with this in my hair. Tell me what you think. Here's the size comparison between the regular Twilly and the Twilly doll. As far as price, silks were half off, so the regular Twilly was $120, half off $240, and the Twilly doll was $70, half off $140. Next up is this baseball cap. It is called the Davis Sellier cap. I saw it in stores in the fall, but I'm pretty sure they still sell this online. If I can find it, I'll definitely pop it up on screen, but I love this colorway. It's 100% cashmere. The color is beige camel, but I think the little leather bits are in the color gold. It's super cute and it will look so good with my camel color coat that I wear all the time, and of course both my gold Birkin and Kelly. Here's how it looks from the side. Full price, this is $630 and I paid $315. It was 50% off. Next up are a pair of shoes, and these are called the Eero sneakers. Once again, these are still sold at the store and online, but I haven't seen the white colorway in quite some time, so this is definitely a last season one colorway. There's a very subtle off-center H detailing on both sides, and this is just what I was looking for. They are very comfortable. I tried them on and walked around on the carpet for a solid 5 minutes before deciding to get them, because one of the very few mistakes that I've ever made at the Hermes sale was a pair of sneakers that turned out to be wildly uncomfortable, and I ended up selling them. Here are the bottoms. I love how simple this is, and these are very reminiscent of my Chanel sneakers. They're chic but almost ergonomic in fit, which makes them super duper comfortable. I was so happy to get these. I tried them on in 36.5 and 37, decided on the 37s, which are a little big, but in case I wanted to wear them with very thick socks, I decided to err on the side of slightly larger. At these sales, shoes are the one item that comes with everything, so they're the 2 dust bags and the extra laces. And here they are next to my Chanel sneakers, which are a little dirty, but I think you can clearly see the similarities in both of these. Here's the name and the code. These were half off $11.75. I paid $587.50. Next up is a classic shirt that I always see when I go to Hermes. I've tried it on at least twice. In fact, I think I showed a picture of this shirt in my last quota bag unboxing when I showed you pieces of ready to wear that I really liked. This is a classic button-down shirt where the buttons are hidden, so it gives a really slim fit, streamlined look, and I have been eyeing this shirt for a while. Again, the only reason that I haven't gotten it is because of the price. In boutiques, it is $1,925, which is a lot to pay for a basic button-down, but it's such an elevated basic that looks so sleek when worn. These were 60% off, so I paid $770. They sell this every year. The most they'll do is change the buttons, so these have the plain Hermes buttons. The fit of these shirts are so good. They're very slimming. I got this in a size 40 because I did not want any pulling of the buttons around my chest. So in my head, I am already pairing this with either black or white wide leg trousers or jeans, black Kelly belt with palladium hardware, black Kelly or Birkin with palladium hardware, and depending on where I'm going, either pumps, loafers, or sneakers. And last up is one of these super cute Hermes ready-to-wear items that just looks terrible on the hanger. You'll just have to take my word for this. This looks so good on. For most things, I do not remember the year or season, but for this item, I do know that this was from 2023, possibly spring summer. I know this because I have a picture of the short sleeve version of this on my phone. I didn't even know that it came in the long sleeve version. This is made from virgin wool, but it's not at all itchy. I love the pattern of this. Here's some details of the stitch work. This is just such an Hermes looking sweater. The reason I didn't get the short sleeve version is because I really don't like short sleeve shirts or sweaters made out of cashmere or wool. Chances are if I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt, it's pretty warm, so I'd prefer linen or cotton or silk. But I still had the picture on my phone because I love the pattern so much. And if you watched my channel before, these are just my colors. If I'm not in black or white or gray, I'm wearing these kinds of neutral tones. I'm boring, I know, but I know myself well enough to know that these are the colors that I wear over and over again. The other major reason I didn't buy the short sleeve version of this was the price. I think it was a little over $2,000 and it was just not happening. This was $2,275 and I paid $910, which was 60% off. Still a lot, but this is not at all trendy. It's not going to go out of style. I'll have it and wear it for as long as it holds up. So I was so happy to find this. And back to the point that I made earlier in this video about really paying attention as opposed to trying to vlog the sale. I actually found this sweater and the shirt in the size 34 section, even though they're both a size 40. This is also a pretty slim fit and I wanted a much more looser, cooler fit. So had I not been paying attention, I would have missed both of these pieces. I don't love the Hermes Paris at the back, but it is the back, so I'll live. Are you getting the vibe of what I'm going for here? I know this is a lot of Hermes for one outfit, but what can I say? That's my jam. I'm just gonna toss my Birkin in here just for good measure and eye candy. So here are my overall thoughts about this sale. I think the selection was pretty good. However, if you're mostly interested in scarves or shoes, it was really essential that you were there the first 2 days. Although I didn't want a scarf for myself, I wasn't able to get one for my best friend either because all of the really nice colorways were gone by then. As far as shoes, I was not able to get a pair of black loafers with palladium hardware, but I saw pictures of this selection the first 2 days and they didn't have loafers in that colorway then either. So they did have black day sneakers with palladium hardware in my size, but I wasn't looking for those, so I would have just been buying them because they were on sale. I've had my black Kelly with palladium hardware for 3 years now, and I have not been able to find matching loafers on sale. So I think it's high time that I suck it up and just pay full retail and get exactly what I want. And I was well under budget. I think in total I spent a little over $2,700. So I'm just going to put the money that I didn't spend towards a pair of black loafers with palladium hardware at the Hermes boutique, because if I haven't been able to find them on sale in the last 3 years, it's probably not going to happen. Now, if you were there like me, mostly for the ready to wear, I think it mattered less which day you decided to go. I saw that as popular items sold out in various sizes, they were replenishing for the group coming in the next time slot. I like the New Jersey space so much more than the New York location, and the added benefit of no sales tax on clothes and shoes made it 100% worth it to take a jaunt across the river to New Jersey. So as far as I'm concerned, if it were up to me, I would be fine if Hermes did all future sales for the New York metropolitan area in New Jersey, as long as they stayed in the same place or picked a similar location that's easily accessible so us New Yorkers can get there without driving. That's it for my Hermes private sale video. Let me know what you think of what I got. If you went, let me know what you got, and if you thought it was worth it. Stay tuned because I have another Hermes haul coming up straight from the boutique with lots of my wish list items. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. That would make my day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.